Good morning, fifth grade, and welcome back to another week of Virtual Science Classroom. I am just so happy that you all survived your first week, and we are back at it with another week. This week, we are still on force and motion. We're just going to continue on with that word force, and it is the week of April 20th. And I'm so happy you guys are back watching these videos and getting ready. Just remember, please check your checklist, your weekly checklist for all things that are going to be due this week. But this video is going to explain to you unbalanced and balanced forces, what they are, and how do we use them. Let's hop right into balanced and unbalanced forces. Let's start with unbalanced forces. Unbalanced forces are forces acting on an object, which results in a net force causing it to move. What I mean by that is an unbalanced force means that something is moving. It makes an object move. As you see in this picture, you have two people pushing on an object. They're both pushing the same way. The net force is the total amount of force that they're pushing together to make this move. So if one person is pushing 50 pounds and the other person is pushing 30 pounds, then the combined net force is 80 pounds and they're pushing the same exact way. As you can see in the second picture, you have one person pushing one way and another person pushing another way. Now, obviously, the person that's pushing heavier, the net force will move the way that's going. So the whole thing, the whole object will move that towards that direction because there's more force getting on this side. Now, we have balanced forces. Balanced forces, there is no net force. Just as up here, we said net force is the combined force that two people are using to push an object. Down here, when there's no net force, that means it is balanced. If it is balanced, that means the object does not move or change. It does not move. So if it is balanced, that means objects are not moving. So right now I am sitting here, I am not moving. But if someone was to push me, I will move the way that they are pushing me. So now I am unbalanced. As you can see in the second picture, you have one person pushing one way and another person pushing another way. Now, obviously, the person that's pushing heavier, the net force will move the way that's going. So the whole thing, the whole object will move that towards that direction because there's more force getting on this side. Now, we have balanced forces. Balanced forces, there is no net force. Just as up here, we said net force is the combined force that two people are using to push an object. Down here, when there's no net force, that means it is balanced. If it is balanced, that means the object does not move or change. It does not move. So if it is balanced, that means objects are not moving. So right now I am sitting here, I am not moving. But if someone was to push me, I will move the way that they are pushing me. So now I am unbalanced. Okay, now let's try this together. If we have an unbalanced force, where someone is pushing an object. Excuse my drawing. They're pushing an object that way. Okay, that was supposed to be an arrow. If they're pushing the object this way, this object is, say, 50 pounds. They start to push this object, and this object begins to move. They're applying an unbalanced force onto this object because now it is in motion. If it is in motion, that means it is an unbalanced force because it is moving. The net force, if we add someone and they help them push, since they're pushing on the same direction, their newtons together, whether it is 20 and 30 newtons, you would add this 20 to this 30 to get a full 50 newtons. So that will be their net force. Their net force is the combined force that they're using. Now, that off. We're still on unbalanced forces. But this time, the two people will be pushing in opposite directions. You have one person on one side and another person on another side. Now this person, John is pushing at, let's say, 30 newtons. I'm using newtons because that means that's the amount of force that they're using. 30 newtons. And this guy, he's pushing this way at 30 newtons. This guy over here, Greg, is pushing this way, but only at 20 newtons. Hear me out. Now, the net force for when two people on two opposite sides are pushing an object, you would have to subtract the forces that they are pushing to get their net force. So you would take 30 minus 20. You would get 10 newtons. So their net force would be 10 newtons. Okay, so we just went over unbalanced forces. Now we're moving into balanced forces. When you have a balanced force, that means whatever the object is not in motion. Right now, I am a balanced force. I'm sitting here on the floor. You were probably a balanced force because you're sitting in a chair, or you're standing, or you're somewhere where you're not moving and you're watching me. You're practicing the law of inertia, number one, and you're also in balanced force. You're just standing there. Now, I remember some of you said that there was one year where I wasn't here, but there was a tug-of-war battle where the kings and the queens played tug-of-war. And you have queens on this side, and you have kings on this side. You are holding a rope. You guys are all holding a rope. Now, if there's three kings, and there's two queens, there should be more strength, I would say, on this side, and less on that side. If you have the kings pulling at 40, which side do you think will pull the most and make the queens lose? So, since there's more strength over this side, then of course the kings will win. But if we had it even, 40 on both sides, that means there's the same strength on both sides of this rope. So there's a point where no one's winning and the forces are balanced. So both sides have the same amount of strength, and you're just holding that rope, trying to make that force unbalanced. And then eventually somebody will either let go, or another side will get more strength, and that opposing side will win. Okay, fantastic, kings and queens. You have went over unbalanced and balanced forces. I know it was a lot, but I know you guys can do it. Now you're going to go back to Google Classroom. You're going to open up the unbalanced and balanced worksheet for instructional video tab. You're going to complete that worksheet that goes along with this video. Again, if you need any help or have any questions, please join my office hours Monday through Friday from 12 to 2. I will answer all your questions.